Cubs, the Detroit Tigers, who went into Cleveland looking to just look decent in a four-game series, looking for a sweep as it came out. Lemon with the single off Bales. Pettis scores. Brookins scores 2-0 in the first. Tigers. Second inning. Luis Salazar sends one to left center field. Back, and it keeps going back and out of there. 5-0 Tigers after 2 innings. But in the 7th inning, Frank Tanana-Daiquiri hangs one to Joe Carter, and he launches one into the left field seats for a 2-run shot. It's now a 5-4 game Carter home run number 12. But the Tigers hold on with a little defense as late in the game, Julio Generalissimo Franco with the shot to right field. Chet Bitter Lemon makes the nice catch, and the Tigers sweep the Tribe on Lake Erie, the 4-game set. And so Detroit in second place by their lonesomes. They've 2 back of the Yanks. They beat Cleveland today 5-4. Tanana, a winner for the 9th time this season.
Sunday night baseball, as per usual, in Arlington, Texas. Oakland wrapping up its road trip. The Athletics rediscovering their bats over the last couple of nights. Today they sent Dave Stewart out against the Rangers, and Stewart early on with a 1-0 lead had his game face on. But bottom of the second with 2 outs, Cecil Espy sends a shot down the line. Steve Buechele comes around. Espy heading for second, and the game is tied at 1-1. That brings up Curtis Wilkerson. He takes it down the left side. Espy comes home, a 1-hopper, and the Rangers have a 2-1 lead on the Athletics. Bottom of the third, still 2-1. Ruben Sierra is hot, yeah. His 3rd home run in 4 games. This one gets him into double digits. Number 10, 3-1 Rangers. Now into the 9th inning. Texas holding to a 2-run lead. Don Baylor, where he goes, winning follows. Takes Charlie Huff out to the Chiefs. Baylor's 3rd of the year, and suddenly it's a 1-run ball game. 2 outs in that 9th inning. Huff trying to get Glenn Hubbard, who was 2 for 3, but that knuckler, you can't touch it. 40 years of age, Charlie Huff strikes out 7, walks 3, his 5th complete game. He's won his last 3. 3-2 final. Oakland now leading Minnesota by 7 and KC by 8. Speaking of the Devil, the Royals hot and getting hotter today at Anaheim. A 3-2 lead for the Royals in the 4th. Bill Buckner takes Willie Frazier high and wide and handsome in history. His 4th of the year for Billy Buck. And the Royals on top 4-2. They are red hot. Then into the 8th inning. He's 2 men aboard. Buckner again this time. Doesn't get this one out, but brings in a couple of runs. George Brett sauntering in. And Danny Turnbull scores. Buckner had 3 RBIs on today, a 6-2 lead, and Ted Power, who had 20 straight men retired at one point, gets George Hendrick. KC has won 9 of 10. The Royals win at 6-4. Now they go to Oakland. They swept them last week in KC. That's going to be interesting. 3 straight wins now for Ted Power. And Frank White, by the way, 63 straight games errorless at second. Back to last September, it's club record.
For Kansas City, Bill Buckner provided the offense. He went 3 for 4 with a home run and a 2-run double. Frank White provided the defense, his 63rd consecutive errorless game, breaking his own club record. The Royals over the Angels, KC's 9th win in 10 games.
El Cid pitching well today. Sid Fernandez gets Andres Galarraga early in the game. 8 innings for Sid today. Did it with the arm and did it at the bat here in the 8th inning. Gets around on Brent Smith and takes it to the gap. You got to really whale it to put it out towards Rick Monday country. Rich Webster can't get it. Howard Johnson comes in 3-0. But Randy Myers in relief. You want to look up line drive in the dictionary and see a picture of this. That gets out in a major hurry. 3-run shot, bottom of the 9th, ties the game at 3-3. That's the kind of year Galarraga's been having. Bottom of the 11th, 2 men on for the Expos. Hubie Brooks, the ex-Met, slaps a Terry Leach shot. Tim Raines scores. That's the winner. The Expos are 20-2 in extra innings in the last 2 years in extra innings. You just can't beat them in overtime. The Mets have lost 5 in a row. They head home for St. Louis, and it's the first time in 3 years the Expos have swept the Mets.
The San Diego Padres haven't had a whole bunch to cheer about the last couple of years. Just ask Larry Boa, and he'll tell you about it. But if there's one thing that Pods fans relish, it is the chance to gouge the Dodgers. And at home this afternoon, San Diego looked to make it a 3-game sweep over their rivals just a couple of hours up the freeway. And here we go. Bottom of the 3rd inning, the Padres with the bases loaded. Carmelo Martinez up against Tim Belcher. And Carmelo sends one back. It is off the wall, off the top of the wall. Roberto, remember the Alomar scores. Tony Gwynn scores 2-0 Pods. Next man up. Speaking of history, El Duce, Benito Santiago with a single to left field. Kirk Gibson, no. Moreland scores. Martinez scores. And for L.A., it was a nightmare this weekend in San Diego. Dodgers trailing 4-0. John Shelby figures Ed Whitson slipping. No, John, get out of here. That doesn't work either. Great game in the field for the Padres' Chris Brown, who made 4 plays at third like this one. He gets up and fires, and the Pods win today, sweeping the Dodgers. The final today, 5-2. Ed Whitson has won 3 in a row now. He is 6-5. Mark Davis pitched the last 2 to pick up save number 9, and so LA's lead over Houston now only a half a game. Up the coast at Candlestick, the Reds and the Giants. And the guy doing the big hitting today for the Reds was the pitcher, Danny Jackson. Although this is kind of a single. Yeah, well, it is. And Saski scores. It's 2-0 Reds. Kelly Churchill Downs didn't have it today, but I'll tell you what, there are a couple of bleeders that he gave up. Here's Cal Jack Daniels, and the natural is not the natural at first base sometimes. Larkin scores. 5 Reds scored the first couple innings. Roger Craig says, is this the day we're going to have? Yeah, when Danny Jackson tees off here. Sends one past Candy Maldonado. He has to chase it down. Saski scores. Bo Buenos Diaz scores. And Danny Jackson doing it at the plate and on the mound. But, of course, the Giants came back and scored some runs because the Reds won today 10-6.
A Betsy crowd of over 51,000 at Yankee Stadium. Normally, foul balls don't make our highlights, but this catch by Orioles catcher Mickey Tettleton is worth another look. Does he hold on to the ball? You betcha.
Ball back, bottom of the third, Rangers lead 2-1. A struggling Dave Stewart gives up this tremendous home run to Ruben Sierra, his 3rd in 4 games. It's 3-1 Texas. Top of the 8th, Huff zooming along, facing Parker with a man on in the 8th, threatening when Curtis Wilkerson dives, scoops it up, and throws out Parker to get him out of the jam. But Don Baylor led off the 9th with a solo shot. It's 3-2 with 2 out. Huff floats it in and strikes out Glenn Hubbard. He owns the A's. It's the 7th straight time he has beaten Oakland. Stewart has now lost 5 out of 6 as the Rangers pull within 10 in the West. Minnesota trying to make up the ground. They're in 2nd place at Seattle. Here's your situation. Moses on 3rd, Herbeck on 1st. Who do you go for? Tough choice. Herbeck is gone, but Moses is at 3rd with Gary Gaddy still batting. The former Mariner had 3 hits on the day, but walked in easily when Gaddy blasted this 2-run shot. Instead of 4-1, it was 3-1 Twins, but they added more. They weren't done in the 5th. Brian Harper comes to the plate with a man on. Harper rips a shot that bounces high over Jim Presley. Randy Bush and Gene Larkin score. The 5-run 5th was enough to get the Twins to victory, and within 7 games in the West, they're back home versus the White Sox. Monday, Seattle travels on to Milwaukee. On to Anaheim, where it was Ladies' Day at the ballpark. California hosting Kansas City, and former Angel Bill Buckner drilling his 3rd home run of the year off Willie Frazier. Royals take a 4-2 lead. Buckner had a big day against his ex-team. Bases loaded, this shot into the right field corner. Buckner had 3 hits, knocked in 3 runs, and the Royals behind Ted Power won it 6-4. Power retired 21 in a row before tiring and getting relief help. The Royals are rocking. They've won 9 out of 10. Monday, they finish up the 4-game set, then moved on to Oakland Tuesday.
Now to the AL East, where the Yankees have been holding court since May 3rd. This weekend hosting the Orioles, who have been holding down the cellar since day 1. But unbelievably, with a win today at Yankee Stadium, the O's could take this weekend series. So let's go to the house that Ruth built. New York turning on some defense early on, trailing 1-0. Fred Lynn looking for more, but Jack Clark says, wait a minute, foul, no. Well, I've got it, backhanded. Nice defensive play. And now some offense for the Yankees. This guy, Jay Buhner. Yesterday, a grand slam here with 2 men aboard. He finds the hole. There's a play for Pags at the plate who tripped, but got up. But then Ripken says, wait a minute, let that one go in. We'll get Buhner in the rundown. But Buhner had done the job. He had tied the game up at 2. The Yanks then went up by as many as 3, but Eddie Murray brings them back with this home run in his 3rd straight game, ties the game at 5. Billy Martin can't believe it, says, what are we doing here? Well, what they're doing is coming back in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out. Claudel Washington with a solid shot to right, drives in Wayne Tollison, and the Yankees avoid the, I guess you could say, misery of losing a weekend series to the Orioles as they pull it out in the 9th, 6-5. To Cleveland, the Indians and the Tigers, the 2 teams chasing the Yanks in the East. Detroit is red hot, and they show it with some defense. Willie Upshaw lines it right to Chet Lemon, and Julio Franco is caught off first. Double play. Very, very nice heads-up play by Chester. And then some offense for the Tigers. Luis Salazar launches a 2-run shot off Scott Bales. Quickly, the Tigers are out in front 5-0. But the Tribe starts to come back. Julio Franco, a great day at the plate. This one is going to be his triple on the afternoon, an RBI. He also had a double. He had a single, and when he came to the plate in the bottom of the ninth, he was hitting for the cycle, looking for the home run. Looks like he has certainly got a single, but again, there's that Lemonade kid. Chet Lemon does it with another great catch, and Detroit holds on. They sweep the Indians, and they have now moved into second in the East. They are 2 behind the Yankees, while the Indians fall 3 back. Elsewhere, Milwaukee pounds the White Sox. Robin Yount, he does hit for the cycle for the first time in his 15-year career, and the Red Sox snap a 6-game losing streak at the hands of the Jays, the big stick belonging to Mike Greenwell, who came up with a 3-run home run.
There may never have been so many hearts broken as there have been in baseball this season. And I'm not talking about guys heading home after road trips. For the 11th time, a pitcher worked a no-hitter into at least the 7th inning, and Mike Scott's efforts this afternoon made it half a dozen into the 9th. But still, no-nos have been no-nos. Mike Scott was brilliant this afternoon against the Braves, though. Struck out the side, and 8 overall here, fanning Ozzie Virgil as he breezed through the first 13 batters. Then in the 5th, the perfect game goes perfectly placed through Rafael Ramirez. Knees. 2 errors, the only men to reach base against Scott, who takes the no-hitter into the 9th. Ken Griffey hits a shot that looks like it's going to right, but Bill Doran surrounds it and throws out Griffey. They got Albert Hall next. Before 31,000, 2 outs, history at hand. Ken Oberkfell drills a shot to right field. No question about it. He then had to try and preserve the shutout. Leading 5-0, he faces Gerald Perry, who came into the game as the National League's leading hitter, but went hitless, as did everyone except Oberkfell. And Scott throws the 1-hitter and still has the last National League no-hitter in which he clinched the division in September of '86. Houston heads for Cincinnati starting Tuesday. To Jack Murphy Stadium, and the divisional leaders having their problems with the Padres, but their catcher, Rick Dempsey, leading the cheers from the servicemen on hand. But you have to remember the base is nearby, Rick. They came to root for San Diego, and they got what they came for. Tim Belcher in big trouble against Carmelo Martinez with the bases juiced. Bangs it off the bag, high off the wall in left field. Alomar and Gwynn score. San Diego up 2-0. The 3rd inning is still going when the next batter, Benito Santiago, rips a shot into the gap. Kirk Gibson looking somewhere else. And 2 more score. The Padres assume a 4-0 lead and also played great defense as they have owned the Dodgers this weekend. They sweep the series. They've won 4 straight. They are actually within 8.5, and the Dodgers' lead is down to just a half a game as they hit the road beginning in Atlanta Tuesday. At the Stick in San Francisco, an early 7th inning stretch. Cincinnati in town, and Cincinnati has been stretching out the bats. Even the pitcher got into the act against the Giants. Danny Jackson drove in 3 runs on the day, 2 of them coming on this double. The Reds take a 7-0 lead. They have had 2 6-run innings and a 5-run inning in this series, but not everything went right. Chris Sabo tried to score on the grounder to short, gets hung up, but makes the Giants work for the effort, and then tries to get way out of the way. Finally, they tag him out, but Sabo never stopped running. Meanwhile, Mario Soto trying to find some Reds to vote for on that all-star ballot, and they're starting to look a little bit better. They pulled 5.5 back. The Giants stay 2.5 out as they move on to San Diego.
Well, I've got a message for anybody out there ready to concede the NL East title to the Mets. Just hold it. First comes a little matter of snapping a 4-game losing streak, their longest such skid of the season. Sid Fernandez was certainly up to the task, nearly untouchable for 8 innings, giving up just 1 hit. He owned the Expos at Olympic Stadium. He owned them so thoroughly, he was doing the job with his bat as well. At the top of the 8th, Mets up 2-0, and the pride of Hawaii comes through with a ground rule double, an RBI, a 3-0 lead. But Davey Johnson says 8 innings is enough. Let's bring on Randy Myers, and Davey really made a mistake there. Nobody out, 2 men on, and Andres Galarraga gives it a ride, a rope out of the park. His 16th homer that leads the National League, ties the game in the bottom of the 9th. We go to extra innings, men on the corners, and Hubie Brooks puts it right back through the legs of Terry Leach. Tim Raines can crawl home from there as the Expos hand the Mets their 5th straight loss. So, an ideal opportunity for the Pirates to pull within 3.5 in the East, but the Phillies' Steve Jeltz had other ideas. Triples to right field off Brian Fisher, drives in Milt Thompson. Jeltz also had an RBI double on the day, but after trailing 5-1, the Pirates come back. Denny Gonzalez lays down the bunt. Mike Schmidt says, I've got to let it roll foul. No, it stays fair. And into the bottom of the ninth, it is 5-4. Bring on Bedrock, who gets Jose Lean into the double play as Von Hayes catches it, steps on the bag, and an ideal opportunity for the Phillies goes right by the way, for the Buccos goes right by the wayside as the Pirates remain 4.5 back of the Mets in the East. Now let's go to Busch for the Cards and the Cubs. Top of the 6th, Cubs pitcher Greg Maddux hits it right to Luis Alicea, who just cannot come up with it. In comes a run. The Cubs have the lead. They don't look back. Maddux didn't make many mistakes this afternoon, but this is one of them. Hitting from the left-hand side, Ozzie Smith, for the first time in his regular season career, parks one, but that solo blast wouldn't do it. Maddux goes on with relief help from Pat Perry in the 9th to win his 11th game of the season, the first in the majors to do that.